Hi, it's Meg, and today I'm going to show you how I made this, which is the template for how I get started before I start recording a demo. We can just talk about the weather. All right, so first up, this is the final product of what we're going to go through today. It is going to be a relatively short video because I do have another series of videos coming out after this of what I actually put on each of these tracks for this specific song. So if you want to come along on that journey, be sure to subscribe. But first up, I'm going to just recreate this. So I'm going to open a new empty project. And for audio tracks, I'm going to put 4 audio tracks at the moment. And you'll see why in a little bit. First thing I'm going to do is set my BPM. I did some fooling around and I realized I think I want the BPM for the song to be 83. Now, my work tape is not performed at 83, but I am going to pull it into this project anyway because it will give me a rough idea on where each section of the song is, and that's going to be important for me before I start tracking. And yeah, I'm not going to open the movie. I'm just going to extract the audio track. If you just have an audio track, it shouldn't pop this up. It'll just pull the audio track in for you. And I am going to rename this to say that it's called, to have it be called work tape. And then I'm going to right click here and name regions by tracks. Work tape. And now name regions by tracks. Great. Okay, so we have the work tape here. The first thing that I am going to do is create markers. So when you click this little doodad here, there'll be a number of things that show up. When you right click any one of them, you can get rid of the ones you don't want. I don't want anything but markers at the moment. At least that's how I'm doing it. So the first bit, I don't have an intro on the work tape, but I know I'm probably going to want a little bit of something sort of intro. So I'm going to click marker and call this intro. I'm only going to have it be 1 measure long for now, and then when I get to tracking, if I realize I want it to be longer, I can just shift everything really easily. And then this is where you can see the vocal starts to, oops, wrong one, to pick up for the first verse. So I'm going to add another marker, and I'm going to call it V1. Oop, can't type. So V1 runs pretty far. I think it runs all the way to here. We can just talk about the weather. Great. So about here is where the chorus starts. So I'm going to add another marker. I'm going to say CH1. Now, I also know that the chorus has about 2 parts. There's these waveforms here, and then you can see it gets quite different on the second half. It is possible that I'm going to want to add something else, something new, or change things up in the tracking when this happens. So I'm going to put another marker here and just say C1 second half. Now, before we go on to the verse, I'm going to start to color code these because you can see these aren't super helpful when they're all the same color. So the intro, I'm going to click Option C and it brings up our little color wheel. The intro, I'm going to keep this dark pink color. My verses, I'm going to go more into purple. My choruses, I'm going to do green and a slightly different green for the second half. Now, I'm going to keep this opened as we go through the rest of the song here. The verse picks up, I think, around here. Yes, right about here is second verse. So I'm going to add another marker. I'm going to say V2, and my colors were around purple, so I'm going to make this one a little bit different purple. Oh, that runs for a bit. And then this is where the second chorus comes in. So let's just talk about the weather. You can see I played it kind of rough, but right about here is probably where I'm going to add my next marker, and that is CH2, chorus 2, and it's going to be a green color. Then you can see the second half happens again around here. I'm going to add CH2 second half, and I'm going to make it a different green. And then this chorus goes into our bridge. Talk about the weather. So I think, or about how and it kind of slides straight into the bridge. And I think I'm going to want the change in the tracking to happen on that last talk about the weather potentially. So I'm going to mark here where that last talk about the weather sort of happened. Now it's very easy to adjust these markers. You can just drag them. So once I'm in the tracking, I might do a little bit of adjustment, but this is going to give me a very brief overview of roughly where all these sections are in the song. So it'll be a little bit quicker in the tracking process. So this is bridge. My bridge, I'm going to make like a weird yellow color. Why not? The bridge also lifts. You can see these waveforms are like kind of mild, and then it gets kind of big later on. So I am going to add a second marker here and then just say bridge lift and keep it kind of a weird orangey color. The song ends with a breakdown chorus. We don't gotta sit. Yeah. Where is that? We could just talk about the weather. I think on that downbeat is where I will indicate that the chorus 3 breakdown happens, and the choruses were green, I think, right? Yes, they were green, so I'm going to choose a green color. All right, now you can see, oops, wrong one. Each of these sections are pretty clearly laid out. Let me get rid of this. So I can see roughly where each section of the song is. Now, this is important for me because when I build the demo, I'm going to want something different to happen for each of these markers. Something new to happen, or something new to come in, or something to drop out, or a different sound to come in, or something. So this indicates to me like, okay, don't forget, don't just do all of it the same the whole time. My next setup is going to be these tracks. So you can see we have 4 audio tracks. The first one I'm going to call lead vox. I think I'm only going to need 3 of them at the moment. The second one I'm going to call background vocals. Now, likely the background vocal track will be many tracks, especially if I want to do layered harmonies or gang vocals or anything like that. But this is just a reminder for me when I go to do vocals, like, oh, I got to record backing vocals, and I could easily add, this might be a backing vocal high or backing vocal low, and I could add a couple more tracks underneath that to fill in all of the backing vocals I need. All right, so the next one is going to be ad-libs, and those could be through the whole song. They could just be for a small section. Who knows with the ad-libs? Now, I like to color these tracks as well to help me out, and I always do my vocals in pink because why not? And I just kind of pop down here. So they're all like, I know that they're vocals, but they're all in the same kind of like color vein there. All right, next up, I am going to add, a software instrument. And we're going to create that track. When you come over here, there'll be different software instruments. I don't know what sound I'm going to want, but for now, as I'm building, kind of templatizing this for myself, I am going to make this a synthesizer. And for right now, let's just make it solo cello. Why not? Now, this is called solo cello. I am going to rename this just to be called synth. And I am going to recolor it because color coding is queen. And it's going to be a blue color. The next one I'm going to add is a piano track, also another software instrument. I'm actually going to add just 5 here on the bottom so we don't have to keep going back each time. I forget how many I'll need. This is a classic electric piano. I'm going to keep that as the software instrument that it is, but I am going to recolor it as well to more of a blue color. I'm going to delete this track for now, and we can always bring it back in if we need. And I am going to rename this just to say piano, because I don't know what kind of piano I'm going to want yet, but I know that that track is going to hold a piano. After that, we have bass. And the bass, I'm going to make more of like a teal color. And I am going to go over here and just click bass. Let's do muted bass for now. After that, I'm going to set up drums. And that's when I go to drum kit, and we're going to click Bluebird for now. I'm going to change the color to yellow because drums are vibrant. And then I'm going to say perk, which is also drums. So I'm going to keep it in the Bluebird drums and make it a little bit different color here. Couple more here. Drum fills. I'm going to keep the drum kit Bluebird for now. I have no idea if I'll use this drum kit. Oops, we want that color. And we are almost done. The next one is going to be adding 2 audio tracks for guitars. So you'll click here. I'm going to click audio again, add 2 more audio. And this is going to be guitar 1 and guitar 2. I don't know if I will use 2 guitars on this or not, but I like to put them there, you know, just to have. And I am going to pull these up because I'm likely going to track these first. Awesome. So now we have a template that is ready for us. You can see we've focused on highlighting what each section of the song is so that it's easy for me to jump to and also easy for me to know when something new has to come in and keep it interesting. I have also ordered every track that I probably could want. I might want multiple of what these are, but it's kind of given me every spectrum of a track, like from the bass to the guitar to the vocal, like all of the pieces that I could potentially want. This song might not have a synth, it might not have a piano. It will likely almost certainly have a bass, some sort of drum percussion, and guitar. But those are there to help me make decisions about each of these new marker sections. If I have bass, guitar, and drums happening throughout the first half of the chorus, maybe I'll want to throw in a synth on the second half to break it up. Who knows? But we will be following that process in a later video, so be sure to subscribe to make sure you're alerted when that video comes out. It will be very, very fun. Now, last step, and probably shouldn't be the last step, but it's the last step for us today. It should probably be your first step, is to save this project. So I'm going to go to File, Save. You can save this as a template, which is what I do. I have a template set up almost specifically like this. So that I don't have to make all of these tracks every single time over and over and over again. But for today, we are just going to save. I'm going to keep it on my desktop, and I'm going to call it talk about the weather, because that's what the song is called. I always save it as a folder with all of these clips. I just like how it's organized when it's saved like that more. And click and save. I am going to replace it. And there we go. That is how I get set up before I start tracking to build a demo. If you have any questions, put them in the comments. If you have any tips and tricks that you use yourself, please put them in the comments. And as I said, stay tuned because we are going to dive back into this project soon and track all of these tracks to create a really cool demo. And well, hopefully it'll be really cool. We'll see. I hope you enjoyed and have a great day.